I have a bunch of expansions for the board game High Noon, so I'm going to be doing an unboxing of this. This is the starter set. I'll quickly open it up and take a look at that, I guess, first. Got this a few years ago, so I've already unboxed it. It's all sleeved up and changed from how it originally comes in the box. So not really a proper total unboxing. In the core box here, you get 4 posses. There's the rule book. It's short. It's simple, but it's terrible. And I would highly recommend downloading the revised one that's online. It comes with this big old map, which is actually not a gameplay item. It just shows the fictional world that you're in. And here's the tiles. Starter set came with these gridded tiles, which eventually, for the expansions, the designer revised it to put just like little crosses so the grids aren't so obtrusive, and completely revised all the artwork. They're very interesting. They're very thin tiles. It's like they're a plastic or something, and they're only one-sided. But they're highly... the printing on it that you can get on it is clearly a lot more defined, a lot more dots per inch, DPI, I guess they call it, than you could get on the cardboard. So it's like really high resolution, what's the word? High quality printing, I guess. Comes with this turn counter, because you have 12 turns. So this can act as a counter for that. Has a little tray here. Has a bunch of player cards, player boards for the posses. These have warped over time, I guess. Look at that. I don't think they were originally like this, or at least this bad. I guess I'll have to, like, if I want to, put it down, put something heavy on it. But like I said, you get 4 posses. This is the player cards for all 4 that come with the core game. There's a Native American posse. There's the Rough Riders, who do not like the Native Americans, trying to wipe them out. And the Leroy Gang, which is bandits. And then you have Sheriff Garrett and Deputy Gates. Each posse has its own set of cards. I put them in these envelopes here. Little sleeves to hold them all together. I'm not really going to go over all these. Take a look at some of the cards, I guess, from the expansions when I open that up. And then you get these counters. They're little small round counters. They come in different colors. The red ones. These are just the cardboard ones. There's some upgraded ones that came with the expansions. Here's the gold bars you earn as you play. Those are sort of your victory points. And what's under this? I have a bunch of... All right, so I have more cards under this. This has... the other cards you have are like your gear and loot and stuff you can find. That's where the focus is. All right, so here you have like a revolver. The masterful revolver. And that's one type of loot you can get. I forget what they call this. I guess weaponry of some sort. But that's not what it's called. I forget the word he uses. Otherwise, there's also gear, specific gear loot you can get. Here's some bullets and some other items. Here's the minis that you get. I'll show those for the starter set here. Here you have the lawmen. I believe these are the bandits. I forget what they're called. I guess these are all duplicates. Should have one leader that's different. Here he is. And those henchmen, there's 4 of them. 4 of them, one of him. Then you have the Rough Riders. And these are the same. All right, so how many of those you got? 3 of those. And the leader of the Rough Riders. Whoa. Right there. All right, so you get the Native American posse. And one more from them. And this guy, they forgot to put a head on. So he just has a post for a head. That is the starter set, which again, delivered a while ago, like a couple of years ago, I think. And now all these expansions became available. I don't have all of them. There's a minis crate that you can store the minis. Didn't get that. The 2 big things I didn't get are the posses. The Bloody Bushwhackers and Los Hermanos. So I won't be opening those. I got the Blood and Metal Pledge, which came with these 3 extra posses here. Before I do that, let's take a look at these upgraded tiles. So these would be the same tiles as in the starter set, but they're with new upgraded artwork and grid lines that match better with the expansions that were just done. They have the cross hatchings instead of an actual grid line. I guess the same material, it seems like. So again, you can get a lot of detail. And they're single-sided. Apparently, it's cheaper with these just to make 2 single-sided ones than 1 double-sided. So, you end up with this. So the artwork is a little less, I like the grid line changes. It makes the grid less obtrusive. But I kind of like the more realistic artwork of the starter pack. This is more of a cartoony. Although there's more things going on, more stuff added in there. So it'd be nice. I wish it was more the realistic style, but with the more, like the cracks in the desert here, I don't think is in the original. Probably a few more rocks. So I like the added details, but I wish that was more in the realistic style. This is another upgrade from the starter set. You get this chips and gold upgrade pack, plastic gold bars, and those cardboard tokens are now replaced by plastic tokens. So that's what they look like, at least in this blister pack. Start with the posses that come with the pledge that I got them, which are these 3. I have the Jenkins Brothers. See how to open this. I don't know. all kind of weird. You got this little flap here that I guess will open up into the tiles that you get with it. Because they're all going to have a new tile that's a starter place where your posse, this particular posse is designed to start out. Something else in there too. More tokens. Oh yeah, and of course you need the player cards. So yeah, that's it for this little back area. And then I guess you got to rip the whole blister pack, I guess, open to get the minis and the cards. But yeah, here's some crates. These were actually in the starter set too, even though I didn't show them. Just little cardboard crates. More gold bars. More tokens. So here's your player cards for the Jenkins Brothers. So you have Clifton Jenkins, Jethro Jenkins, Jonah Jenkins, and something else here. So 3 of them. And here's their starter tiles. And what is this here? So this is just a reference card. You have to rip the packaging. There's no other way. It gives you a little, the back gives you a little lore for the posse. I hope that's somewhere else written down because, yeah, the box is dead. There's the card box. Let's open it up. The back looks like the same as the box. I think that's generally going to be how all these are. The way the game works is pretty simple. You know, this is your attack strength on this card and your defense strength. There are ones that have special abilities like this. What does this say? After attacking, draw 2 cards. The Patriot card, here's Bum Rush. You can use it as an attack card, or it's got this special free action you can use it for. And what is this? Blank 3 cards. Throw. Ooh. Free action. If Clifton deals damage from a basic attack this turn, throw target character up to 3 squares in any direction. Thrown target and all characters adjacent target take 1 indefensible damage. Damn, so he just grabs them, throws them. So what is going on here? Well, these have backs. I guess just 4 blank cards too. I guess you can use it to make your own card. Although I would think it would have, if that was the idea, it would have the texture on it as well, and then you could print the characters. But, you know, not bad. Anyway, you got it in case you need it or want it. How do I open this up? Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the Jenkins Brothers. Here's that guy who does a throw attack. You have this. So I don't know if I should open these. Nelson Abernathy. I can open this up and show the tiles and all that. This is just going to be a hassle but eventually I want to open it because I got to play it, but I don't know when that's going to be. This is based on that Australian guy. He made his own, he had his own armor. I forget the guy's name. Like right there. It's crazy, like ghetto armor. Once again, you get some more cardboard tokens. I think the reason you keep getting more tokens is the idea is there's no limit to the amount of posses you can do. So if you have like all the posses, you know, you'll end up using all the cardboard counters that start off in the starter set. So they give you more, you know, enough for a whole other posse. Here's the Bush Ranger. And again, another reference card. See, there's this crazy armor there. And they all see, these little ones seem to come up with this little alley as well. And then here's their starter tile. Is that a blacksmith? Blacksmithing thing going on there? Just making their armor. The reason I don't want to open them up all now is I'm not going to have time to really organize them or anything, and all this stuff is just going to get mixed together, and then I'm going to be confused as to what goes to what, because they don't have a separate box to put it back into. Otherwise, I'd love to open this up now. Monco and McAtte, and it's the same wacky blister packaging. It's the front and the back. A retired colonel teams up with a gunslinging stranger to form one of the deadliest bounty hunting posses Saratoga has ever seen. One is quick on the draw, the other has a range of a marksman. Monco and McAtte are a dynamic duo that work better together than apart, but can stand on their own if they have to. Starter tile and an alley. There's their usual extra tokens. There's two characters here, Joe Monco, Davis McAtte, and another reference card. So similar to the tokens, I guess you get a reference card for every posse, so that if you're playing with a bunch of people playing all the posses, you can do that. I don't think there's, nothing on the back of these, and as usual, these are just the single-sided. So here's the card front. That's what that looks like. And then you get two posses there. Two posse miniatures. So here's the expansion loot. This is Kickstarter exclusive. There are more loot cards, and they're basically loot that sort of goes with particular posses that were stretch goals and some of these add-ons. Like, for instance, that Nelson Abernathy armor is in here as a loot. So even if you're not playing with Nelson Abernathy, you can find his sort of armor. The thing I don't like about the expansion loot is it has the Kickstarter exclusive logo, which I think kind of takes away from the theme. So you got your basic three kinds of loot. Oops, I guess these are around like that. And like I said, here's your Abernathy suit, or his armor suit. So even if you got this through the Kickstarter, you got this. So even if you didn't get the Abernathy posse and you did a lower level pledge, you could still use this armor. And there's a lot of these cards in here. Torch, I don't know who that's from. Sakar, sees a lot. I don't know, Maybe some of them are just extra stuff that they made up too. I don't know. But I know a lot of them are posse specific. Moonshine, I think it could be the Bloody Bushwhackers or that big guy who's throwing people. I don't know. Chime Locket, yeah. What is that? Break action shotgun. Pump shotgun. Tequila bottle. Oh, here we go. This is from Father Franklin. You get a coffin. Dynamite stick. I think that's the Bloody Bushwhackers, I believe. But there's a lot of these expansion loot cards. Good amount of them there. There's an add-on that I think I had to buy. Well, I believe I had to buy it. I don't think it came with that pledge. Expansion Loot Volume 1. You know, but it's not Kickstarter exclusive. You can go to the website for High Noon and get this right now. But it contains all 3 types, I assume. Here, mechanic, yep. Aromatic bitters, deck of cards. Yeah, this is all stuff I'm not familiar with. I mean, I haven't really hardly played this. I've only like played it once to try and learn the rules. I got to get somebody to play it with, because there's, as of right now, there's no solo version. So I might get Roxanne here, see if she wants to do it. There is actually going to be a solo expansion. It's going to start out as a print and play. But then I think he's, when he does another batch of expansions, he might throw that in there. And you can get it officially. I think you're fighting like a giant robot or something, of all things. Double holster. So it's more loot you can get, which is always nice. Another thing, this did come with the expansion. I mean, with the pledge that I got was the Marketplace expansion set. And with this, you can buy. I don't think it has any tiles. Yeah, no tiles. So I don't know how that works, but you can buy stuff instead of having to find it in crates and loot it. You can somehow use your gold and buy it. But there is no tiles with it, so I don't know where you buy it or how that works. But it comes with these little like cardboard deck holders to hold it. If you've ever played Western Legends, that kind of thing. All right, so you get a little booklet. First up, the Marketplace. Hopefully this is more understandable than the original rulebook. More like the revised one, I hope. And then this, I assume, is your cardboard stuff. So you get 3 of them. So here's the gunsmith, blacksmith, and general store. So I try and build one now. Open one up here. What did I open up here? The general store. Probably the dullest of the 3. No weapons or cool armor stuff. This folds out. How does this work? Is it just, maybe that just lifts up like that. And this is the back. Oh, there we go. So, all right, I think this is the back. This is the bottom. Comes up. I think that's how it works. Ah! Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works, even though I'm having, it's a little bit of getting used to. And then this, I believe, is on the bottom. Right. This would be on the bottom. This would be on the top, like that. Those go up there, and somehow these go... I think these hold the cards in place at the bottom. So you put that there. You put the thin strips on the bottom here. I don't know if I made that backwards. I don't know if it matters. This looks a little nicer. So those go on the bottom. This comes up. And you got the smaller one on the top. So that's how those go together. And they all look to be about the same. So I'm assuming the other two get put together in a similar fashion. All right, these also come with these wacky cardboard ashtray things. I don't know how this comes into play with how the whole thing works. There's 5 of them, 6 of them. Gold spent, gold earned. So it's something to track how much you spent to purchase items with your gold. Obviously. How that works exactly, I don't know. And of course, if you're gonna have a marketplace expansion, you gotta have cards. Oh, this is like weird. This is like foam. Wasn't expecting that. It's marketplace decks. So you got blacksmith, gunsmith, general store. Canned beans. Ooh. I believe there was always canned beans on the original starter set. Snake oil. These are all like classic ones. And they have more of these blank cards. I wonder if there's blank cards on every one of these. And then you can maybe make your own. Masterful revolver, double barrel. Revolver buttstock, steel chest plate. Yep, I remember. Recognize a lot of this stuff. So it's a lot of extra stuff that you can buy from that also exists in the starter set that you have to find as loot. I've read that there's some complaints that the expansion cards are a little bit different size than what was in the starter set. So this isn't the same type of cards, and these aren't going to be mixed, these particular ones, but let's find out. Yeah, it looks like the starter set one is just a hair bigger. So yeah, that's a good deal. It's actually worse than I thought it would be. It's like pretty big. Luckily, I sleeve my cards. The only thing, the posses are all separate. That's not going to matter. The only thing that matters is if you want to use, say, those expansion loot cards, they're the Kickstarter exclusive loot cards. Those are not going to mix well with the original ones in the starter set. So, be forewarned. Like I said, I use sleeves, so I don't think it will be so bad. I don't think I would be able to tell, but there's a decent size difference there. I have 3 add-ons. They weren't part of the pledge. I had to pay extra for them that I got much bigger box ones. So, start off with this Grizzly Greenwood. This guy's like kind of like a Grizzly Adams character. He's one person. But he commands the power of wolves. Apparently 3 wolves. Alright. A lot of space in the box. I hate it when they do that. Just empty, it's like a CMON way of doing expansions. It's like I really wish they'd just make the box a lot smaller. Here you have the player boards. Wolfhound 1, 2, and 3. Wolfhounds are actually dogs, aren't they? Not really wolves? I don't know, but you get another reference card. There are those characters. And as you did with those blister pack expansions, you get some more tokens. These come in a smaller bag. But they're the same basic thing. I'm not going to open those up or bother. You get your minis. Here's Grizzly Greenwood. And there's 3 of these wolfhounds, and they are all the same. So here's, I'll just show one. And there's a pack of cards for them. Don't know how the rules work on him and his wolfhounds. Maybe the wolfhounds are just like normal posse members. And you don't need extra rules. And then, as usual, apparently you get a bunch of these extra blank ones. So it's under the insert. And it is just 2 tiles, yeah, so there's no extra rules for this and how that works with Grizzly Greenwood, you know, summoning the wolfhounds. I guess they're just like normal posse members. So here's the 2 tiles you get. They're basically the same, I think. Yeah. Mechanically, they look about the same. It's just one's on the sand and one's on the foresty region. I don't really see any differences. Yep. Up next, I have Father Franklin here. Father Franklin's like kind of like Django, if you ever seen that old spaghetti western, except he wasn't a priest, but he was a guy who dragged a coffin behind him. And in that coffin was a machine gun. Father Franklin, the priest, also carries a machine gun in a coffin that he drags with him. So this is kind of a different one, kind of exciting. Again, you have your player cards, you get tokens, posse cards, and the minis, and the things behind the starter tiles. His starter tile is weird. You know, it's a Father Franklin. I expected a church starter tile, but it is not a church. It is, in fact, like a fountain, like an outdoor fountain. But that's perfect for a Western to have a church, I would think, so kind of disappointed that we didn't get a church. I believe the designer's planning an actual church in the future, but it would go so well with this guy. Here's Father Franklin's thing. He's just one guy, but he has massive firepower. So he better have a rules leaflet or something, because that's going to be very different. Father Franklin. We like the artwork on that with the 2 coffins and the chain. Machine guns. It's got it all. It says it right there on the card design. Ah! Steps of the righteous, the Lord's Prayer. And we got the tile. Oh, yep, he does have rules. Here's what his start. Well, he's got 2 starting tiles. What is this? It's not a starter tile, but it's a tile. It's just got that's a starter tile, and then an extra tile. Assume they're single-sided. They are. Father Franklin does come with some wacky machine gun rules. He has a line of sight range. Normally in this game, you can only shoot orthogonally or like straight diagonally. but he has a whole line of sight area in front of him, and there's a whole reference for that thing. That's what this thing does. Where's the tiles? So if you wanted to figure out where he could shoot, let's say he's there, you can put this down. I don't know how exactly that works, like here or here. And then he can reach these areas. This thing is fairly thick. This is like a whole acrylic. Piece of plastic there. That's a thick piece of plastic. And then there's something else here. Oh, the pine box. This gets its own player card, which is not with the other player card. It's a different shape. I guess it's just like a shield kind of thing that acts as, so not technically a player card. Here's Father Franklin. The coffin strapped to his back. So he can wander around like that, and then when he deploys his coffin with the machine gun in it, you pull out this mini and swap it out. So even though there's two minis, you only use one at a time. And the last one, this is the wackiest one as far as stuff in there, because it's got a whole second level tile thing. Don't know how that's going to work, but we'll find out. The only women in the game so far, Bonnie Beecher and the Bandero Blondes expansion posse. These former harlots turned liberated ladies roam the caravan trails, exacting vengeance and causing havoc on men across Saratoga. I don't know how to pronounce the city. Saratoga, making a name of themselves as the widow-making Bandero Blondes. Looks like there are 4 of them. You get your standard tokens as usual. And you get some other stuff here. These are some sort of pylons, some sort of columns, I should say, to hold up a second level. So here's the, how many guys? There's 4 of them. These are the more generic ones. Bonnie Beecher, Miranda, and just some Bandero Blonde goons, 2 of them. And you get your reference card. All right, so here's the first mini. Another mini. It's the same as the other one, so these will be the 2 generic ones. The last 2 are Miranda and Bonnie. I don't know which is which. Open this up. I don't know, the cards. Where are the cards? What the hell? Jeez. I don't know how to get to the cards. Is this double thickness? What's going on with these cards? Are they taped to the bottom? What the frick? I have not seen that done before. That's a new one. They're just taped to the bottom of the insert. That is a new one. Bandero Blondes card deck. and a bunch of blank ones. All right, so this one comes with a second layer. It's like a saloon. Yeah, there's a lot. Oh, there's a whole. So this also comes with a rule book, little extra rules with elevation rules. See, as you can see, what the hell that comes out too. So you can see it. If you can tell from here, it there's a second balcony layer. Alley space. Just a blank. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not gonna build it all right now. That holds up. Hopefully that won't be too rickety. Seems like it might be decent enough. And there's this. It's like a saloon. The bordello. Probably up here. It's supposed to sit atop that. So how are we gonna do this? Some pegs. Guess that goes there. And then there's only 3 of these. Okay, that goes there, and it's like that. So I would assume you'd put these in here. Yeah, I'm really starting to wish that he hadn't have done this and just like had the balcony on the outer edge. Make maybe a line to show you that's a balcony. Yeah, I know. I'm assuming he's like wanted like so you could also be under it. But maybe there's a way you could work that in and just say that first layer next to it you can't shoot, you can't have line of sight to because it's technically under the balcony. This seems like a pain to set up. Goes there. Man, this tile is really tight in there too. The early bird metal bullets and metal pledge or whatever it's called, you get a deck of it's not for the game, it's just a fun item, is a pack of poker cards, which you can also buy as an optional item. And it's always been just pictured as a regular pack of poker cards, you know, similar to the style quality as in the game. But then I got this, which is, as you can see from here, it's like a shiny silver foil deck. So I looked on other people's pictures. Other people got them. Some people got normal ones. The playing cards were advertised as Kickstarter exclusive. And now I see they're sold on the website. So maybe he decided he really wanted to sell the poker cards. So he had to do something special to make Kickstarter ones. So then he went with the shiny ones. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm really not sure. Ah, get it out. I don't know what triggered that, but they're really nice. Yeah, same sort of, you know, I was, with how nice they were, I was expecting maybe more of like the thick, plasticky poster cards, but this is, these seem like the same cardboard style. It's the game, it's just with the foil. Here, what is this? Here's a black one. Here we go. Here's an ace. But what is this? What suit is this? Spades? So here you have a King of Hearts. So as you can see, they really have a shine to them, this foil. Maybe these are just for the early bird pledges too? I don't know. Don't know what differentiates getting this as opposed to just a normal set of poker cards. What gives you a shiny foil? That is everything I have to show for High Noon.